The Echo of Shadows, Part 1. The Arrival. The small town of Ravenswood was known for its tranquility and the old stories the locals told around the fireplace on cold nights. But there was a dark secret buried among the trees surrounding the village, a secret many preferred to forget. Clara, a young anthropology student, arrived in town one autumn afternoon with a single goal: to investigate the mysterious disappearance of several people in the area that had been occurring for over 50 years. University archives spoke little of it, and the local police had no explanations. The silence around the case only added to the aura of mystery. Staying at the old inn downtown, Clara felt a chill run down her spine when she heard whispers carried by the wind through the slightly open window. The townsfolk, with suspicious eyes, avoided speaking about the disappearances. She felt she was getting close to the truth. The next morning, Clara headed into the forest where the people had vanished. Thick fog wrapped the trees, and sunlight barely pierced the gray veil. In the heart of the dense woods, she found ruins of an old building covered in moss and roots, as if time itself tried to erase its existence. Upon entering the ruins, the air changed. It became colder, heavier. Clara heard a whisper coming from the walls, an almost inaudible call pulling her into the darkness. Part 2. The Whisper. Clara moved down the damp hallway of the ruins, her flashlight trembling in her hand. Each step creaked beneath her feet, echoing in near-complete silence, broken only by a low, indistinct whisper. It was as if the walls themselves were alive, murmuring ancient secrets the wind carried away. She stopped before a door, half buried by dirt and roots, feeling the cold air hit her face. She hesitated, but curiosity overcame her. She pushed the door with difficulty, its creak nearly shattering the silence. On the other side, a small dark room with strange marks on the walls, symbols in a dark red shade that looked like dried blood. In the center, a table held old papers and an open book whose yellowed pages showed writing in a language Clara did not know, but which awakened in her a feeling of dread and fascination. Suddenly, a louder noise froze her body. Slow, dragging footsteps coming from the corridor behind her. The whisper turned into a moan, a desperate, muffled plea. She spun around quickly, pointing her flashlight, but saw nothing but the shadows of trees moving outside through the broken window. "Who's there?" she asked, voice trembling. No answer, just the heavy silence that seemed to squeeze her lungs. Clara knew she was being watched. She felt invisible eyes fixed on her, pulling her soul toward an abyss slowly opening beneath her feet. Part 3. Revelations at that moment. The old diary she had found on the table began to vibrate slightly, as if it had a life of its own. Clara approached and with a trembling hand touched a page that revealed a map, a drawing of the ruins and the surrounding forest, with a circle marked in red in a nearby clearing. She decided to follow the map, even knowing it might be a trap. The forest, dense and dark, seemed to come alive as she moved forward. The fog thickened. Tree branches stretched out like skeletal hands trying to grab her. When she reached the clearing, silence gave way to a strange sound, a chorus of whispering voices, calling her name, speaking in forgotten tongues. In the center of the clearing, ancient stones formed a perfect circle, and inscriptions glowed with a reddish hue on the ground. Clara felt a cold that pierced her body, the sensation of being called to an inevitable fate. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadow among the trees, tall, hooded, with eyes glowing an intense red. The presence was overwhelming, a force pulsing with the energy of darkness itself. "You came because you heard the call," said the voice, hoarse and deep. Clara tried to step back, but her feet were stuck, as if the earth held her. The figure extended a skeletal hand, and the voices transformed into a hypnotic chant flooding her mind. Part 4. The chant wrapped around Clara like an icy wave that stole her breath and corroded her will. Each word reverberated inside her, awakening ancestral fears she never imagined having. The hooded figure approached, whispering in her ear, "To escape, you must pay the price." Packed with the shadows that guard this place, Clara felt the weight of silence. The entire forest seemed to hold its breath. She tried to resist, but her body did not obey. Fear mixed with morbid curiosity, and she knew the only way out was to accept what the darkness offered. "What do I have to do?" she managed to ask, her voice trembling. "Just accept," said the figure. "Surrender your fear, and it will be your guide. Refuse, and you will be consumed forever." She closed her eyes, feeling an invisible force taking over her. When she opened them again, the fog had lifted, and the figure had vanished. She was alone, but something inside her had changed forever. Part 5. The return back in town. Clara noticed people looking at her differently, as if they saw something dark within her. Their whispers grew louder, and the feeling of being watched never left her. In the following days, she began hearing voices, seeing shadows moving at the edge of her vision. At night, disturbing dreams took her back to the clearing where the pact was sealed. But Clara knew she now possessed a power, the ability to hear the voices of shadows and uncover the secrets buried in Ravenswood. The price? A piece of her soul remained trapped in that place, and the darkness would call her forever.